Hello again. Let's continue with the previous video. So we already know these folders and also the element have some structure in the saved Archimate extension model file. Now it's let's starting to do some the change based on the step. First is let's do adding an element. Let's starting from the using the capability as our sample. So let me add our one sample capability. Let's see. I want to see some sales management. You can add underscore or you can use the space based on your preference. So let's save. Then you can see you are adding our Archimate. The type is capability and name is here, and also one unique ID is coming. So that is the ways you know is when you change on the model, what are the storage here. So it's quite clear. It's under each folder. Then you get our the element. And if I see here is a little bit thing is my company capability. So you create a folder, and you see here, it's just the folder aggregate to another folder. So that means is you have another the folder element, and with the folder the unique ID. Then you can start to see is I want to the manage is our capability under is my company things. Then you can see then folder is including this element. So that is the first the part is when I see is let's do adding one element. Now you know is what's that change is actually change on this the layer trees the folder root folder. And the next is let's do the some properties and the descriptions. For this one, I want to see here is documentation. So manage and to and sales activities. So let's save that. Now you see here under your element, there's are the another we call it element or object is created called is documentation. It's quite the clear mapping. So you have your content here on this model content, and then this we can also create our some property. So let's see how property is showing. So let's see the tab level. So what we just create is level 1 capability. So let's see. We assume it's coming from somewhere here. Then we see where is the capabilities property coming. Property key is your name and the value is your value. So then you get that structure. So let's create our another one. So let me see. Is I have our code management. I also have our lead management. So both of them are kind of the sub capability. I want to put that is under the sales management. So when I save that, is no doubt is coming to some more the capability because I make a duplicate for code. So you see here is an unnecessary copying the documentation. That is not what we want. So we delete that. It's actually that is the code management activity. So we can have more description here. So then this you see that actually it should not be the sales capability. And I want to see they have the level 2. And this is also the level 2. I see whenever you have a value, you can choose from this the drop-down list. So now you have another the property here. So let's see, we have some of the adding element. We add document, we add the property. So all this will be reflected on this element tree. If you add other element, is definitely the similar things. Now let's talk about the relation. So as I said, is you can create a folder, but you cannot create a relation directly. So how you make the relation is let's starting from view. So I have my view here. The relation is actually based on the drawing you make on the diagram. So let's make data here. So I drag the sales management here. So I suppose that should be happening something on this Xiaoqi view. So let me save that. Yeah, is as expected. And they also store something more. So if you see here is I got my diagram object. I got this ID, I got the element. So this Archi element, if you choose that, you see the unique ID refers to this one. So this one is my sales management. So that means is you have this one linking to your repositories the element, and then you have this the position, the shape. As I said is in the last the video, you can also choose, you can drag here. So if I make that bigger, so let's save, so you see it's changing here. And you can precisely, but that's not my recommendation. So, but sometimes you cannot make that in the right, the exact the dimensions or the size, but I want is here is I just want a 200 width, 60 height. So I save here. Remember last time I mentioned is you need to close and then you can open that again. So let's see here. That exact is the 260. So that's a way so you can use both way. If you're fond of coding something, you can do this. But if let's keep simple, don't do that too much complexity. So now as I drag my two more the capabilities here. So let me save is they come in here, and they have the default size and the position I put since I want them to make here. So you see, so now is I make them is longer. So let's see. So the next step, we already add those elements in the view, and we make some adjust on the look and feel for the position and the size only. Let's do some more the look and feel. So you can see how that reflect here. One thing is let's do the color. So you see here appearance. You go this field color. Let's see. I like is the another color, so I want to use the blue to show my capability. It's no meaning, but if you sometimes make some the heat map, you need to define some the meaningful color. But let's just change from the default color. Default color is not here; it's built in. So, but if you change to some customized color, if you save here, that is like is the way is you can consider that is JavaScript or some the web page coding is like another property. So it's adding our fill color property. So if I'm keep adding something is let's see I want to see the this icon color, not black. I don't like that. I want that to be shown as the right. Highlight that, then it's right. Then the icon color is coming here. So that depends on is the programming. The icon color is part of the feature. So, but when you read that, is you definitely you can understand what's the logic for those. So for this element is you will also be able to change is like is I want the font color, so I want the font is like this brown, and I want that can be bold. So you can imagine it's just adding some more the properties font. So here is we got is the numbers of the things and also the font color. So that I don't spend more time, but you can think about those yourself. And then it's one next the thing is I want to mention is the relationship. So normally it's because I define this as a level 2, so I should use I want to use the composition to see here. So when I draw this line, so it should something is adding our the line in the diagram, but it's also something is part of the relation, because you see relation, we got one the relationship. Let's see, safe is correct. Relation is we have one the specific the relation argument type is a composition relation, and then we got relation ID and source. Source is from the sales the management. So if you check that, it's a sales management. Target ID is the lead management. If you check, is that lead management. So it's quite the straightforward. You create this relation, and this relation is also showing here. Showing within this element is they are showed in the source part. If you see here, source connection. Then they put this relation ID in the here. So then you will get that is our the drawing the ID, and then they put this kind of the things. Source target is your element, so you can read that, and also here is your relation. So if you put that is this is your relation ID. And here, why this ID is not this ID? Because I link sales management to here, is because in my understanding, this is our instance. This is not the actual here. Remember, is if you right clear, you can delete from view or delete from model. If you delete from model, actually they touch base on this element. But if you delete from view, it's not deleted from here. So that is our another instance of your element. So in the drawing, they are referred to this this kind of the box. So that's why so we should see they have the different source ID to refer to this the area or this position. So similarly, is when we create another one, is we can expect this we have one another relation, and then we have our another here the relation. But if we see here is if we want to make that complex, let's say is this code is influence, even is not actually the practical way draw in the capability model. But let's just make that look like its influence is not usable within the between the capability. But we see here is code is served as lead. Let's see. So when we draw this, we should see another third relation, and that should come from code as the source. So that is their structure. So here you see within this code management element, we got our the Archimate connection. So that is starting to see a little more complexity on the code, but that's the way is the Archi to manage the content you are drawing. Remember, it's the last point I want to mention in the previous video is also I see is if you change on primarily we model on here and reflect in the backend file. But before we close this, I also can show you is if you change on the right, is change on the left. So that's no difference. So what's that mean? So let's see is I want to I don't like this composition, the relation. I want to change that to the aggregation. So what we can do? So here is you can see The second row is like this one. So it's the Archimate connection. It's come to this relationship ID. So if we found this one, then I see here composition relation. So let's see to try aggregation. So if I save here, and then if I close this model, what's that will be? So I suppose I got our aggregation correct. And on the view, you see, you actually change this the element into the another the type of the relation. So similarly, is if you know more on this model, you can even change this element type or something. But I don't want to keep recommend this. You do this manually way in Archi. Actually, if you have interest, the Archimate is they have the plugin. Next time is I may introduce you some this kind of the plugin. So I is this one scripting. So scripting is you code something is to automate your the steps, query, create, generate, and also the batch processing something. So that is more powerful and more safer. But just for this video purpose, I just let you know is when you analyze the file structure, you can compare the left and the right. So that's all for these two videos to let you have an overview on what the Archi model file means. I may use that later on to the other modeling practice video. So hope you can practice yourself and see the structures, the complexity, but it's quite, as I mentioned, clear on the part. Thank you for watching. Talk later then.